Have you ever heard of BGC, formerly Boys and Girls Club, and wondered what they did? I always did. Today on Parents Chat, we're joined by Mike Vautour of BGC of Greater Halifax. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Parent Chats of NSLive.tv. I am your host, Ken Hubley, and children's book author. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Mike Vautour, Director of Development and Communication for BGC of Greater Halifax. Welcome, Mike. It's so great to have you.
Well, thanks again for having me, Ken. I'm excited to join you and talk a little bit about what we do at BGC Greater Halifax.
Yes, we're really appreciative of your organization and how it serves the community. I went to an event last week or a few weeks ago with BGC Halifax, where you hosted an event sponsored by the Dartmouth Literacy, and it was to help promote literacy in the community for kids and for adults. And I thought, what a great thing, because the a lot of times adults needs help with literacy, and in the show we talk about self-care a lot, and that can be a part of that. I enjoyed the event and had an opportunity to do an author visit and reading with some of the great families that your organization serves.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming out to the event. As you mentioned, literacy is so important. And we're fortunate to be able to partner with folks like yourself to be able to bring story reading to the community and to be able to give out a ton of books. So, yeah.
Right on. Why did you change your name from BGC to from Boys and Girls Club to BGC?
So a couple of years ago now, we wanted to be more inclusive. So we realized that it's not just boys and girls that come to the club. So we wanted to be open to everyone from all walks of life. So we thought the name BGC would be a little bit better and more fitting in the times that we're in these days.
Excellent, yes. Please tell us about BGC of Greater Halifax and the great programs that you guys have, including the outreach. I hear it's not just a babysitting service, but there's some real great content.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just babysitting. We do lots of great activities at the club within lots of great programs. So right now we're actually in the middle of March break camp. So we've got a ton of kids at our clubs every day, all day for a whole week. And they get to do all kinds of activities. They would be out sledding, but we've got rain today, so that won't be happening. But all kinds of sports, crafts, out trips, team building activities, all that fun stuff that you'd expect at a day camp. So BGC Greater Halifax is actually the amalgamation of several different clubs throughout Greater Halifax, and we merged in 2013 and became BGC Greater Halifax. So we now have 4 main club sites and then 2 satellite sites in schools. So those 4 clubs are in Sackville, Spryfield, and 2 in Dartmouth. And we have a school out in Cole Harbour and a school in Dartmouth as well. So we're kind of spread out all over the place. Yeah, so in those clubs, like I said, we have all kinds of different programs. Our main bread and butter is the after school program, where kids come to us after school. A lot of them we pick up with our bus. We drive them to the club, and then the parents come pick them up after school or after the after school program. And then some kids get dropped off by their bus. So that's kind of our main, everyday program that we run out of the clubs. But running kind of simultaneous to that is our youth programs. So we've got drop-in programs at those 4 main clubs in Dartmouth, Spryfield, and Sackville, where youth between 13 and 18 can come into the club and they can hang out with their friends. They can eat a healthy meal, and just spend some time playing sports or whatever it is they're interested in. And we also have some more formal programs for them, like learning to drive or accessing tutors. So that happens in the evenings. And then throughout the day, we have a team of outreach workers who go out into the community and try to connect with those youth who maybe don't know about us or they don't really know what they need. So the youth outreach team goes out, connects with them, And then they might start working with them one-on-one, and try to figure out what their goals are, and how we might be able to help as an organization. And then in the summer, we run full summer camps. So we run 8 weeks. It's like March break camp, but 8 times over. Then we're exhausted in September, and we gear up for after school program again. Yeah, that's kind of mainly what we do, in kind of an overarching explanation, I guess.
Well, you folks are really, really busy, and it's good because I'm hearing a lot of variety in the programs. When you talked about the driving, the sports, and it sounds like it's for kids of all different interests, and a lot of variety in that. So that's great. Plus, I like the fact that you're around so many different sites that convenient to get to, right? And the outreach program sounds excellent. It's great to know that there's people out there reaching out to kids.
Yeah, that's right. We work with kids from all backgrounds. We've got, a very diverse crew of kids at the club, and they come from all walks of life and have all sorts of different issues and different talents that they bring to the club. So, yeah, we kind of have sometimes the misconception that we only work with children from low income backgrounds, but that's not the case. We work with all children, but some of them do have more challenges than others.
Let's talk about the challenges for a second. Tell us about some of the challenges that kids face today, and the parents should be aware of, and know what is happening in the world. I know I'm always a little bit sheltered, but it's good to know really what choices and what challenges our kids are facing.
Sure, yeah. So I can only speak to what I see at the club. I'm not a parent myself yet, but we do track progress of the children at the club, and we do see all kinds of different issues. One of the main things right now is just that kids have been cooped up for the last couple of years during the pandemic. So they hadn't spent a lot of time socializing in person with each other. So we're finding that we see a lot of issues around emotional regulation and problem solving skills. So children aren't quite used to sharing again yet, now that they're back in person. So we're seeing that they're struggling a little bit re-socializing with their friends, but we know they're happy to be back at the club. It's just going to take some time to get back up to speed with those problem solving skills.
What can parents do when they see their child might be a little bit withdrawn or just not the same as prior to the pandemic and the changes we face?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think really the key is communication. So, making that time to sit down with your child and ask them how their day was. It doesn't always have to be, what's wrong. It can just be a casual conversation, and what's wrong might come out of that. And then, if your child is involved in out of school time programs like BGC, strike up a conversation with the staff and ask them if they've noticed anything with their child, or just check in regularly, so that you're keeping on top of what's going on. I mean, things happen so quickly these days with everyone being connected online, and it's getting increasingly difficult to keep up with it all. So staying connected and carving out that time to have a conversation with your child, I think is a great thing to do.
And I can say when I was at the club, I saw firsthand that one of the mothers needed some help, needed some advice, and was talking to one of your staff members, and they looked like they had a really good chat. So that's really nice. How do programs and activities help kids in 2023?
Yeah, so what we find at the club is if you connect a child with an opportunity to do something that they've never had before, they might get excited about that, and it might be something that they continue on with for the rest of their life. So at the club, we try to offer a ton of different programs and activities. So you might do something like rock climbing one day, basketball the next day, so that you're trying all kinds of different things, because not all kids are interested in the same thing. Just like adults, we have all different interests, right? So finding that thing that they're interested in, finding them a positive outlet is just so important. So So at the club, we hope that children will find that positive outlet, whether it's basketball or rock climbing or whatever it is, just something that they can spend their time on that's positive. It helps them burn off a little energy. Is great. So we like to expose them to all different activities. On top of that, some of our activities and programs are targeted at issues that youth might be seeing in their lives. So we do have programs around digital safety. I already talked a little bit about learning to drive. We've got a driving simulator where the children can, well, not children, the youth can learn to drive on a simulator and then start practicing. So there's all kinds of programs for all different youth and children. So yeah, getting in touch with us, and if you do notice that your child is struggling, all it takes is a call to us, and ask if we may be able to help. If we can't, our youth outreach workers will refer the youth or child to another program that could help.
Oh, excellent. That sounds good. And if parents want to know more about your organization, I assume you have a website?
We do. It's bgcgh.ca. We're also on social media, so you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We're quite active on there, posting photos all the time. You can see all the activities the kids are enjoying. Yeah, and we're always available to chat. Our phone number's on the website there, and we'd always be happy to chat.
Excellent. That sounds great. What are some of the common problems or fears that kids face? How can parents start a chat with them?
Yeah, so again, only speaking what I can see at the club, but kids these days are more exposed, than I was growing up. Surely, they're constantly connected and exposed to things that they maybe not even should be exposed to. The war in Ukraine, the pandemic that we all went through. All of this stuff can weigh on children's minds and create a sense of anxiety. So again, going back to the conversations and just sitting down with your child and talking about those issues is what helps those problems go away. They don't really go away in real life, but they seem less impactful on you at the time.
Wonderful. What message do you have for parents?
So I guess my message for parents would be to get your child involved. It doesn't have to be involved in Boys and Girls Clubs programs. I mean, we'd love it if they came to the club, but just being involved in something is really going to help your child out. Whether it's registering them for swimming lessons or scouts or any type of social recreational program like that is going to help them create relationships with other youth and other children that they can trust, and also it'll expand their network of trusted adults in their lives, so that they have people they can open up to when they do have problems.
What a great message, and so appropriate for today's day and age after the last 2 to 3 years that we've gone through. Help your kids get involved, be involved in the community, help them socialize. Thank you so much, Mike, for everything that you and the members of your organization does. And thank you for joining us today. And I encourage parents to look into the BGC on the website, on the social media, like you said, and get involved. Help, whether it be BGC or another organization or just something for fun or a family event. Get your kids out there, get them involved. And as I always like to say, my hood is parenthood. Until next time, have fun, take care. Thank you again.